That's right, ladies and gentlemen, it is tier list time. Today, we're going to be taking a deeper dive into spies in Hearts of Iron 4. Welcome to the HOI4 Spy Operation tier list, and by the end of this video, you will know exactly which operations are almost mandatory and which ones are,
Know your fucking place, trash!
Starting us off, we have an absolute staple of spy operations. If you've played around with spies for even a few minutes, then you've probably done this operation. That's right, I'm of course talking about Rescue Captured Operative. Now, the operation itself isn't bad per se. In fact, it can be insanely satisfying when all your spies are caught and the last one just busts them all out of jail. Like, Jesus!
You're the last one, complete the mission!
But obviously, having your spies caught in the first place is already not ideal. Like, holy shit! My spies in HOI4 are better at getting sent to jail than Andrew fucking Tate.
The Matrix has attacked me.
It genuinely feels like I have to do this mission every few minutes, and despite being really good at what it does, I can't pretend that it's ever a good experience being forced to do this mission. So, for that reason, it makes it into the A tier. Alright, next on the chopping block, we have Coordinated Strike. It's not great. What the operation does is it declares war on a country, and for the first couple of days, it gives your planes free reign so they can bomb the shit out of the enemy without being intercepted or shot down. The operation does only take 3 days, so definitely does not deserve an F tier, but it also does require 75% intel network strength, so if you forget to send your spies way ahead of time, then too fucking bad. The operation kind of depends on you having a good air force to begin with, but then again, if you have a good air force, why would you bother with this operation? You could just bomb the enemy normally. I mean, I feel like the operation would be a lot stronger if strat bombing was more effective, but in its current state, unfortunately, Coordinated Strike no higher than a C tier. Next, we have Steel Blueprints. There are actually 4 different operations for this one. One for Industry, Army, Navy, and Air Force. And, oh boy, they're so bad! Basically, it takes 120 days, which is not a joke. And when it's done, you either steal a random tech in the field you chose that the enemy has, which you don't, or you get a 10% research boost for a tech. 10%. 10! That's nothing! That is Joe Biden levels of speed. Like, who made this? 10%? Are you kidding me? And the fact that the tech you steal is random is even worse. Imagine you're a small nation.
Let me in! Let me in!
Imagine you're a small nation doing this operation, praying that you get a boost for infantry equipment or support equipment, and then you get the boost for a heavy tank chassis. Like, what the fuck are you gonna do with that? You have 2 factories. The RNG of this tech, the tiny bonus you get, and the eternity that it takes to do, gives it a big fat F tier. Alright, and in relation to the last one, we have Infiltrate Civilian Administration, Army, Air Force, and Navy, respectively. Basically, this is the prerequisite for stealing blueprints, so not only does this automatically go in the F tier, given how terrible the blueprints are, but that also means that to do the blueprints operation, you also need to do this operation before that. So you need to do 2 operations, just for a 10% research boost. Was PDX drunk when balancing this? Like, what the fuck is this? And this operation takes 90 days, on top of the 120 for the blueprints. That's 210 days.
2 plus 2 is 4, minus 1, that's 3, quick maths.
For a 10% research boost. Who balanced this? Straight into the F tier. Get out of my side.
Listen! Go! Get out!
On a more positive note, next up we have Prepare Collaboration Government. And this just clowns on the blueprint one even more because it is absolutely amazing. Basically, it reduces the enemy's surrender limit by 9% every time you do the operation, up to 30%. Now, the operation is almost mandatory in certain situations, like if you're fighting a super Soviet Union, or especially if you're Japan playing against China, because China has a national spirit called national unity, which basically means they never fucking surrender. So unless you want to spend the next decade of your life struggling through the Chinese interior with no supply, then do this operation. Oh, and if it weren't already good enough, for every single collaboration government you get, you also get 30% compliance when that country capitulates, all the way up to 100%. Holy guacamole! Which means you instantly get access to the majority of their factories, you don't have to garrison their territory as much, and you also get a shitload of resources. This is really night and day compared to the blueprints, and I'm pretty sure you guys all expected it, but definitely deserves an S tier. Next up, we have the good old classic stage a coup. Now, this operation basically starts a civil war in the target country, and the outcome really depends on the result of the civil war, because if you're able to help the side you support win the civil war, then this can honestly be mad OP. Like, it can potentially turn an enemy into an ally. Now, how this works is that when the civil war begins, the strength is divided based on ideology, aka if you only have 30% ideology support in the country, then the side that you support will only have 30% strength. So if you try and use this operation on a major nation, then it's not really viable because they pretty much all have ideology defense drift. Basically means that it's extremely hard to flip them, and you can't directly intervene in civil wars until world tension is 50%, so it's kind of a niche operation, especially since if you don't target a major nation and you do a minor nation instead, it's usually more efficient to just conquer them normally, unless they have a guarantee, of course, in which case this could potentially be extremely useful. It is powerful, don't get me wrong, but it's also extremely situational and not an operation that you do very often. So, for that, it can't get any higher than a B tier. Strengthen resistance. Okay, once again, the balancing on this one is just so off because it's rarely ever useful. I'm assuming that if you do this operation, the eventual goal is to rise up against occupation, but to do that, you need 90% resistance in each of your cores. Each! And given base resistance is only 35%, and the operation only gives 10 to 20% every time you do it, you're looking at doing this operation 4 or 5 times per state. And this operation takes 50 days each time, not including prep time or penalty from enemy counterintelligence. What the heck was PDX thinking balancing this? I could beat Clash of Clans faster than this shit. Now, the reason why this operation isn't actually that bad is because when resistance goes above 70% in a state, the enemy actually gets a massive attrition, supply, and speed penalty to their divisions, which can actually help out a lot in traditional combat. But the resources spent getting there, it just means that it's not very worth it, so unfortunately, only C tier. Sabotage, industry, infrastructure, and resources, respectively. Why?
Why?
First of all, this operation doesn't even destroy those things in those areas directly. It literally just increases the chance of resistance doing it. So this operation won't even have any effect if the resistance is too low. So what's the point? This is so pointless. On top of that, since the territory you target has to be non-core, the enemy wasn't really getting all that much out of it. They're only getting a fraction of the factories and the resources. So reducing it further is not really going to have a great impact. Imagine taking away 5 factories or 10 steel away from a mega Germany that has all of Europe. What the fuck is that going to do? Fuck all. F tier. Capture Cipher. Why are all of these so shit? This operation takes 75 days, which isn't exactly short, and all it does is cracks part of the country's cipher. Nope, not even all of it, just part of it. So you either have to decrypt the rest of it manually, or you have to repeat the operation. Given how long the operation takes, 9 times out of 10, it's just less hassle to decrypt a country the normal way. And ciphers aren't even that big of a deal in HOI4. You get like a 15% attack bonus or something, and it only lasts 70 days, so definitely not a game changer. D tier it is. Plant false intelligence. Okay, so let me explain. Basically, when the enemy has enough intel on you, they can start seeing more detail about your divisions and their movements, yada yada. So this operation essentially creates a bunch of ghost divisions that can't fight and just act as a scarecrow, essentially. Now, this has little to no effect on AI because you can't really use it on the front line. As soon as they are revealed, these divisions will die. So in single player, this is worse than F tier. However, it could potentially be useful in multiplayer. Not being an MP player myself, I have no idea how good or bad it is, but I could potentially see it being quite useful or even annoying sometimes. So just as a compromise, I'm gonna put it in C tier. Tell me in the comments if I've put it too high and this is just secretly trash for multiplayer as well, but I'm not entirely sure. This is definitely completely useless in single player. So guys, that is my Hearts of Iron 4 Spy Operation tier list. Obviously, this is just my opinion. Feel free to leave your thoughts down below. Also, we are swiftly approaching 1,000 subscribers, which is absolutely amazing considering that I only started the channel about a month ago. So, if you did enjoy the video, do like and subscribe. It is very much appreciated, and I will see you in the next video.